Thank you for joining us. Today we're joined by the real mean girl herself, Dani Jordyn. Dani, thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's going on?
Well,
Thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, as we usually say right now, like the world might not be too great, but we're doing the best we can. So I'm guessing that's how you're doing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
I'm guessing wrestling helps in some way. You know, like keeping wrestling. That must be good, having that constant during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's good. I've been very thankful to have like AEW in place of my indie bookings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I've been pretty #blessed to do that.
Blessed.
And
yeah. Yeah, we've been saying this to a few people that we've spoken to. We spoke to Sean Dean the other day, Mike Berner the week before, and everyone's just saying like how good AEW Dark has been during this time. Like,
yeah, if I didn't have it, I don't know what I would be doing with myself.
Yeah.
Like I was going crazy before it, so thankfully it came and like scooped me back up. But
yeah, it seems like it's really helped the independents. You know, like every card has 16 matches, and it's not just like the majority men's matches, it's a fair share of women's matches too, which is good.
Right.
And
yeah,
it's really helping like keep people's names out there. It's getting people exposure who might not get the chance usually. And
right.
I think it's really AEW Dark has really found its purpose during the pandemic. I know it didn't start as this, but I hope it stays this way. Is that how the talent see it then backstage? Like it's almost like a development platform for the independents.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what it feels like. Yeah, like I said, I don't know where I would be without it. And the fact that they've been giving these chances to all of us like this is really great. And like, you don't see that done a lot, especially for the second biggest company in the world,
Yeah,
like
right.
giving us opportunities like that. Like just people from mostly like Georgia-based people too. Like now
Yeah.
a lot of them are getting used from all across the US, but like it was mostly like Georgia-based and at the students from the Nightmare Factory and all that stuff. So yeah, who would have thought that we would just come up,
so
take
cool.
over? Like you never heard of us before, but here we are, and you're
Yeah,
stuck with us.
I'll be completely honest.
Awesome.
Like with yourself, the first time I saw you was on AEW Dark, and
Yeah,
I remember
a lot of
thinking,
people.
like, we need to get Dani Jordyn on the show at some point because you were really impressive. But in the matches you've had since, I mean, just to name a few, you've had Thunder Rosa, Anna Jay, Red Velvet, Leather Bates, Abaddon, Big Squall, Chris Statlander. That's an incredible amount of people you've wrestled there.
Yeah.
And in such a short time, you've wrestled some of the best talents in the world. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've wrestled like majority of the women's division at this point. It's been pretty awesome. Who would have thought? I keep saying that. Like it just seems unreal. It's weird to like watch myself see my match card come out, be actually physically there. Like it's really cool. It's really comfortable to me at this point because it's happened so much, which is awesome. But at first I would say at first it felt very comfortable too because I just felt like I was supposed to be in that kind of big environment all along, like that's where I'm supposed to end up. So it just felt right. But I've been grateful enough to be like basically in development myself on TV, on YouTube TV, like in front of everybody. Like I'm evolving in front of everybody's eyes. Like if you look at one of my first matches there compared to now, my first match was with Nyla Rose back in 2019. That was a squash match. And then I had Dark for the first time. And I think my first match was Chris Statlander, like you said. And then my next one was Sheeta. And that was just like, oh, that was so much pressure. She was going into like her women's title, big championship match or something like that. And I was like the last match until that match of hers. So that was a lot of pressure for me. But yeah, like I forgot the question at this point. But
you must have learned an incredible amount in that time, though. I mean, I've heard that Dustin Rhodes is a great hand as well backstage. He's great for learning.
The freaking best person ever. Who would have thought that I would be pretty much getting coached by Dustin Rhodes?
That's awesome.
That's freaking wild. I'm so that I don't know what I would do without him either. Like he's helped me so much mentally and in the ring. Like and he probably doesn't even know like how much I'm grateful to have had him by my side, but he's literally the best person. He's what's like kept me strong, basically.
Yeah, That's what we've heard from a few people, that he's just such a good, humble person. He doesn't realize how much knowledge he's passing on. He just starts speaking. And,
and when he starts speaking, we're all like,
yeah, I can imagine you would be.
Teach us more.
When I was cleaning out all of this mess behind me, I found Goldust's book from a few years ago. And I thought, right, I need to read that again, just because he's such an interesting dude,
I've never read it. I'm not a reader like that, but
give it a read if you ever get a chance.
I will. I'll look for it.
You speak to Goldust. You don't. You don't need to.
Yeah, right. It's so weird.
You hear it first.
I talk to you all the time. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, like you said, you must have learned an incredible amount in such a short period of time. Wrestling those names. I believe you were on, like you said, Dynamite against Nyla Rose shortly after Dynamite started, and on Dark you've had some incredible matches too. Has the goal for you become to be all elite then? Because I'm guessing before there might have been a few options. Is the goal for you now to just be AEW?
I would say, I mean, wherever I can go, I'll take it. Actually, no, that's not true. I've always had my heart set on one particular place, but once AEW came around, it was just such a big game changer. Like, I didn't expect it, it just kind of came out of the blue. At first I was like, I don't know. But then, because I still had my childhood dream set on one thing. So I was like, I don't know. But then I was working at DDP Yoga at the time, so I had seen Cody quite a few times, and just started to think like, maybe, like, I got to see kind of the development process of AEW, like the first start of it, like before it was even a thing.
Yeah.
Until it was developed into a thing, and then I got to see it like put on TV and all this other stuff, like just sitting back and watching that happen was really cool. And I just saw how well thought out it was, and I was just like, I just gained such a huge respect for it, seeing it be like a crumb to like a giant plate, like 8-course meal. Right. Yeah. So it just it was just really cool to see that, and just to know that Cody's such a good guy, like he's really cool. Everybody is, him, Brandy, all the people like involved in making it, Tony. So it was just super cool. And then it just opened my mind a lot more and made me like more accepting of going to more companies, branching out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, but I think that's the main goal right now.
That's awesome.
To be all elite. Yeah.
I'm glad
I would die.
I'm glad you said that, because I really do think you fit into AEW very well.
Thank you.
I really like the real Mean Girl character. One, because I love Mean Girl.
Yeah, I think the thing that I love about it too is that they just let you be you. They let me do what I do, which I just, they didn't change anything. Mm-hmm. I just go out there and I do it. I was just like, can I bring the book? Yeah, why not? Okay, great. Like, I thought they were going to make me not take the book, but they were for it. They were all for it. So it's just, I don't know if I would get that opportunity somewhere else. So
yeah, maybe not, but it's so cool that you are able to be yourself, because I feel like that's what the fans latch onto. When you're able to be yourself, you seem so much more genuine, and it's so much easier to get behind someone who is just being themselves instead of playing a character. Right. With yourself, I mean, like you said, you're obviously a big fan of Mean Girls. Is that where the character came about? Is it just you were a fan of Mean Girls and thought, hey, that'd be a good gimmick?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a pretty straightforward answer. Like, I've been obsessed with the movie my whole life anyways. And I was just like, hey, it was a like a little running joke a little bit backstage at one of the shows that I was having. And I tell this story all the time. I had my first real feud with Lindsay Snow at Southern Honor Wrestling here in Georgia. And we were going into the storyline, and I was just like, hey, it would be funny if I had like a burn book or something, I put your picture in it. And then they were like, yeah, dude, do it. So I was like, you think I won't? And I just did it, and everybody loved it. And then I made t-shirts, and it just carried on through all of that. And and it just became a whole thing. I just stuck with it, and I just kept going, and people thought it was really funny. And I know everything about the movie anyways, so I was like, hey, whatever. And it allowed me to be more of myself, because before this, I didn't know what I was doing.
It's one of the most.
I don't know who I was
as well.
What's that?
It's one of the most quotable films I've ever watched in my life.
Right. The fact that it's still highly relevant and quotable. Everybody still knows it. Yeah.
Everybody knows Mean
piggybacked
Girls.
on that.
And
everybody knows it.
I don't care who you are. Like, there's people. I've got friends who say they don't like Mean Girls. I don't believe them because I think everyone likes Mean Girls. Like, it's
Once
it's a
you
really
watch
good
it,
film.
you're gonna like it. It's just
Yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Like, it's a good laugh. Yeah. And I've also opened a lot of people's eyes to Mean Girls. There's a lot of friends and a lot of people that I've never met before that I just see like on Twitter or something. That's like, I watched Mean Girls for the first time today, and I'm like, yes, way to go. We got another one.
See, you
So
need a
more and
sponsorship. That's
more.
what you need.
Right. I'm helping people watch Mean Girls. And maybe they rent it and they pay for it and they watch more Mean Girls. I don't know, Really cool. I'm waiting for the day that they recognize me, like Tina Fey calls me up or something, but hasn't happened yet. But I'm still hanging in there. Oh no, what happened? Wait, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Your microphone's out, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
But yeah, would you be up for that? If you did get the call and they said, "Hey, look, we need you for a new Mean Girls movie lead role,"
Oh,
are you
yeah.
taking that part?
100%. I don't even care what it is. I'll play a tree. I don't care.
You don't
I'll
care.
just be standing in the I'll play a statue in the background. I'll just be
I want that
in somewhere.
So
I'll take lines if I can, but I'll literally just play a tree if that's what it comes down to.
Make it happen. I guarantee it will make it happen. Let's get a hashtag going on Twitter. That's how you do things nowadays. You get a hashtag going.
Oh yeah. Like I said, hashtag blessed earlier.
Yeah, hashtag blessed. Yeah.
Hashtag put Dani in Mean Girls.
Yeah, that's a nice short hashtag people can get behind. I'll do that after this podcast. When it goes out, we'll put that hashtag in. We'll get you a part in Mean Girls. Guarantee it.
Yes. Thank you.
Speaking of, like this year and last year as well, you did actually get a chance to wrestle for Elevate Pro. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, we've actually spoken to Brittany a few times, and she's such a brilliant person, doing a great job.
Yeah,
said it a few times. Like there needs to be more female promotions and more like female figureheads at the top of a promotion, and it's such a refreshing thing to see her taking charge and doing such a great product. She's doing a great job there. And
yeah.
You've wrestled.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Killing it. You've wrestled there for the Elevate Pro Women's Championship. What's the experience been like for you wrestling for Brittany and Elevate?
It was great. I've only been down there oh my god, how many times has it been? I think just one time, but I had 2 matches. It was like a double week thing or double day thing. Double weekend. Oh my god. It was amazing. I loved it. I had so much fun. They treated us great. I went down there with my friend David Ali. They treated us fantastic. I made friends. Everybody was super cool. I had a great time. I would totally go back. And I've been trying to go back, and then COVID happened, and we had to cancel something. But yeah, but I love it. And Brittany's amazing.
So maybe after the pandemic, we might see you back in Elevate Pro at some point.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your training as well, I mean, I spoke to Sean Dean the other day, and he was saying he trained with AR Fox. Spoke to Alan Angels last year. He trained with AR Fox. And we've heard nothing but good things about it. Everyone says it's one of the best trainings you can train with. You trained with AR Fox too. And
I did. Yeah.
You had a similar experience.
Yeah. Same story you're gonna hear. Pretty much. Like, it was a good place to start. It was affordable. It was a good public school to start at, and it was close to me. It was one of the only schools around here at the time when I was looking that I had like seen right in front of me.
Yeah.
There was a couple like hidden ones that I didn't know about, but WWA 4 in Atlanta was the first one. I was living in Savannah at the time. That's a huge long story, but basically I moved here to wrestle, and I started there, and I would recommend it to anybody that wants to start at a school. If you need a good affordable public school to start at, I would say you could start there. Fox is a great trainer. I learned everything I know from him, obviously. He trained me from scratch. And I started there in 2017, and then I think I was there for like 2 years, maybe 2 years, 2.5, I don't know, something like that. Because I'm going on my 4th year of wrestling now. I think I just hit 4 years. So yeah, I'd say about 2.5 years there. Then I started at the Nightmare Factory with QT Marshall and got further development because, and I've been like at a couple schools here and there just throughout those years too, just to get your foot in the door, other places, make more connections, learn more because you can never stop learning, So just try to get as much experience as possible. But WWA4, excellent place to start if you want a good starter school, or also now the Nightmare Factory, highly recommended as well. I mean, super great environment. It's also close by, there's both schools in the same proximity. So yeah.
You've had two really good trainers there, AR Fox and QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Two very different wrestlers, but two of the best.
Yeah. Definitely.
But what we hear about AR Fox as well is he's known for being a high flyer, obviously, but he can do everything. When he's training you, he teaches you all different styles. He teaches you what you're good at and what you want to do.
He can that's what a lot of training schools don't do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like that's what some training schools don't do. They don't just focus on what you want to do. Whereas it sounds like AR Fox actually focuses in on what your strong points are.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely used the technique of asking me what I like to watch or who is my favorite or what kind of style do I want to do, and then use that to teach me. So I always said that Seth Rollins was one of my favorite wrestlers. So coming up, from being a fan, not knowing anything about wrestling, just being a fan, didn't even know that indie wrestling existed.
Really?
He was yeah. And I hated it when he was a heel, obviously, because I was supposed to. But then when I got into wrestling and learned all about it, I was like, oh, he's the best. So he was my favorite, and Fox used him to teach me a lot of things, or used some of the other girls that I really liked, like Alexa Bliss, or I was a big fan of Toni Storm also at the time, or Candice LeRae. So he would show me people like that, or he actually told me to watch Candice LeRae and things like that, just to help me more, which I really liked.
Yeah. Can you remember what the first indie event you saw was? Whether it was live or one that you were streaming?
I don't know. I feel like I had to have watched something before I just went to a show, but I don't remember. It may have just been a school show. I think it was just a WWA4 school show.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I remember I looked it up on YouTube just to get more research on it and stuff. So I saw some of the school matches from their YouTube page. And when I started at the school, before I actually started training, I went to one of their big super shows at first, and it was so crazy. They had ladders, Legos, everything. And it was wild, and I was just like, this is awesome. And it was so much fun. I was like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
It's such a cool experience, isn't it? When you've only watched WWE, and then you find out there's wrestling outside of WWE.
Yeah.
And it kind of blows your mind a bit.
There's so much.
Yeah.
It was so much to learn. I still don't know everything. It was so much to watch. Ugh. I tried. I know
you can never watch all the wrestling.
Show, the what?
You can never watch all the wrestling. There's too much.
I can never. I'm never gonna be able to catch up. To this day, some of my friends are always like, "Have you ever heard of so and so?" I'm like, "No." You might as well just stop asking me at this point because I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know all these people. I think one of the first indie shows that I went to was in Deer Park, New York, where I grew up. It was my hometown. I went up there with Ashton Starr, and it was some Pride show that he was doing. And I was in my hometown, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to New York, blah, blah, blah. You want to come with me?" And I was like, "Hell yeah. That's my hometown. I grew up. Let's go." And it's my first show ever, my first indie show. So I think that was my first one. And I went with him, and we drove 16, 18 hours. Yeah. It was crazy. It was so much fun. I had a great time.
So after that, you decided, right, this is what I want to do. Because I always feel like when you see your first live show, that's when you realize it's something you want to be involved with.
Well, my first live show was at a WWE show in Madison Square Garden.
That was your first live show at Madison?
Yeah, my first WWE show, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, my seats were crazy high, but it was still really, really cool. And then I ended up getting tickets to another show Raw. I think it was Raw or SmackDown or something. And I went to that in Atlanta because I was living in Savannah at the time. which was really, and then I had like front row seats basically, like by the stage. It was so cool. But the first live show, fell in love with it, and that's when I was like, I want to do that. I want to be in the ring right there, right now. Like I want to go down the steps and get in.
Is it weird though, knowing that like 4 years ago you were thinking that like, oh, I want to be doing this, and then 4 years later you're wrestling on TNT, one of the biggest networks in the world? Like that must be a surreal moment.
Yeah, never would couldn't have told you that back then. I didn't even know that I wanted to really wrestle until like 2014, something like that. Yeah, I just liked it at the time, and
yeah.
I had those like on and off periods of where I was watching in and out, through school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I graduated in 2012. Just now everybody knows my age. I'm old, or I'm getting old, and just fell in love with it. Like it was so cool, and I just watched it on and off. But in 2014, 2015, when like the women's revolution was starting with 4 horsewomen of NXT, like Becky, Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, fell in love with all of them. And I was like, maybe this is more of a realistic dream than unrealistic. So just kind of stuck with it, kept watching it. Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a wrestler, though. Like you said, it's a realistic thing now. There's so many great companies to work for on the independents, but also you've got AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW all on TV. There's never been a better time to be a fan and a pro wrestler. Like,
right,
so much choice, right?
There's so much to choose from, and like not knowing anything about oh shoot, where was I going with that thought? I just had it. And you read there's a lot of choices. That's what you were saying. Oh no, I lost it. Oh, I got distracted and I lost it. We can move on. Okay.
We can move on.
Look, I have major ADD. I'm surprised it's only happened once.
We're doing great.
Yeah. We'll just keep going. It's fine. I'll remember it like 10 minutes later.
Jamie, who set the interview up, he's meant to be doing tonight as well, but he's had to work. But one question he always asks, I don't know why he asks, but every time we have a guest on, he always says, "What's your favorite donut and why?" And we need to know.
You know what? I have the answer to that. My favorite donut. Yeah, I do. My favorite donut is a really, really good. It has to be good quality. It can't just be like, the Dunkin' Donuts ones are good, but they can't just be Dunkin' Donuts brand. A really good pink frosted donut.
Good choice.
Yeah, like from The Simpsons. All right. And I have a tattoo of it actually on my arm, and it's the only piece with color in it on this arm. So it's going to be the only thing with color, and it's a pink frosted donut.
You know what's really weird, right? We've asked that question a couple of times, and 2 or 3 times somebody's pulled out a donut tattoo.
Really?
Delilah Doom, she has a donut tattoo.
She does?
And yeah, we said, Delilah, what's your favorite donut? And she went, well, I've got it tattooed on me. And I was like, this is becoming a thing now. Like, we asked the question, and then people just pull out this tattoo.
And then they're just like, you know what? This
one. Here we go. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's a bit weird. Yeah. But good choice. We've realized you can tell a lot about somebody by their choice of donut.
Really? Yeah,
it's like a star sign thing. I think they're completely made up, but
I'm gonna have to start asking that question now.
Yeah. I think star signs and choice of donut probably both as accurate as each other, But,
yeah, good way to pinpoint who somebody is.
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair.
But good choice. I will let Jamie know. But also, before we do wrap up, can you tell everybody where they can find you, if you've got any merchandise, and hopefully where we can see you coming up soon? Are we going to see you back on AEW Dark anytime?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting on word on that. I'm going through some stuff with my knee right now. As people might know, I have a knee brace that I wear when I'm in the ring. So I went to the doctor recently. I'm trying to get things worked out and just have it more stable. It became a little bit unstable, but I'm working with it. And so we'll see where that goes. But anyways, they can find me on Twitter. I think my Twitter name is just @Dani Jordyn. Jordyn, just so everybody knows. Instagram is at Dani J, Danij. I also have a pro wrestling tee store. I have a few good shirts on there. I think I have like 4 or 5 different shirt options, different colors. Just kidding, not different colors, just black or pink. So pick your poison. Hopefully you choose pink because we need more pink shirts in the world. But just search my name on Pro Wrestling Tees and everybody can find me there. The Real Mean Girl.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Dani. Absolute pleasure speaking with you. We're big fans.
Thank you.
Big fans.
Thank you.
Considering we only saw you on the first time you were on Dark, that was the first time we saw you. In that time, you've done absolutely great, and we've got no doubts this is going to be a big year for you. So hopefully, next time we speak, maybe you'll be all elite. Even if you're not, I'm sure you'll be killing it. But
thank
you so
I
much
hope I'm
for coming
somewhere.
on. Dani
Thanks
Jordyn,
for having me.
we've been Ringsiders.